And welcome here to another edition of Live at the Palms. Hey, there we go. I got a microphone here. Welcome to yet another edition of Live at the Palms. Monday night, we have got ourselves a 5, 10, 25 no limit hold'em cash game. Good to see Bart Hanson here in the house. Kind of the godfather of all of this, so it's good to have him out here to partake in this cash game. We see our boy Sammy Von Kennel explaining what's going on, and we will introduce you here to our players. Mike Emblet, the dude, talking, here with you, and firing up for hopefully should be a great cash game. We got Fox, we got Pierre, we got Sammy, so we will take a look around the table. We got Jazzbo Poker here. Howdy, poker people. Robert Mitchell says, hey, y'all, I'm from the UK. I'm quarantined with COVID. Well, we've not really been able to get the lab results back, but during some of the tests, we found that people who watch this live stream get a couple of more COVID antibodies. So, hopefully sending healing wishes here from across the pond. All right, let's go here to our first hand. It was originally slated to be a 5-10 game, and then I guess the talk got around the table, and they're like, all right, let's put on a mandatory straddle. So we've got a double, we've got a triple, 5, 10, 25, 50, 100 here to start the ninth. All right, thanks, Jazzbo. Saying the volume and sound is great. That's what we love to hear. Always trying to get better each and every night out, and heading in the right direction. Looks like we got Pierre raising up in our first hand. Why don't we load up the action tracker, huh? I'm sure it's going to be popping up here in just momentarily, so it looks like we're going to be heads up here in this spot as... Okay, so the first hand, we're not going to have the action tracker out here, but at least... we know it's coming after this. So Pierre had bet like 300 pre, gotten called here by the triple straddle. He's going to lead out for 500. We'll get our board up and running here just momentarily. So Jack Durning, do we never know? Well, we're going to know. This is only for one hand that we had a little glitch here, but everything else has been pretty smooth sailing. We are on a half-hour delay, so... figure that's the most secure way to run this stream is... okay, we do get a bet and a call. I'm sorry I can't necessarily tell what the board is here for the moment being, so... there we are. Okay, so... we are joining it here in progress. So you see Trey, see Westgate Matt. So I see a board out here of 8-5 deuce. Fred Flintstone here in the house, so we wound up going back to Pierre, who has King Jack. So he had raised up out of the small blind again to like 300, got called by John D. Pierre C-bet like 500. John D flatted in position, and then Pierre just decided like, okay, I'm going to apply the hammer. Is often running out of the gates here. Well, we got our boy Scotland in here. That guy's a legend. ATX Poker, speaking of legends, says, hey, Mikey, enjoy the stream tonight. I am most certainly looking forward to it. So we do know Pierre has King Jack in the spot as we go to a 9-ball in the river. We'll reload the graphics here. Pierre here now with the river decision. He has barreled pre, on flop, on turn, and to our knowledge with King Jack is probably trying to target specific hands maybe that he can bluff at, but he figures if I've already gone 2 straights on this. And the 9 on the end is going to make 9s up here for John D. So, well, I'm sure that was a very confusing start here, but we're about to clear up some of the confusion here at Palm Social. We are going to be on Poker Atlas starting on Wednesday. So once you open the app, we'll get to see a nice little surprise. The old Palm Social looking right up at you. You can see us for the time being here on the Tempest Portal app, just to find out what games that we're running here at Palms, and why don't I just do that myself? Alright, we got a 2-5 with bomb pots. We got 1-3 no limit table going, 1-2-5 PLO. This is the place, especially for Potham and Omaha. For you Omaholics out there. Ken L's Ferrari says, get Ken L on the stream. No, it's been nice seeing Ken L around these parts. You know, I've talked with him a little bit about his background, and always very, you know, his family's, you know, his wife especially, apparently has been very big of this, the live stream, so. But he's got a Ferrari, though? That's pretty baller. Okay, Sammy raising out of the big blind up here to 385. Your boy Trey. Always ready to go to battle. Will be heads up here with the 7-4 offsuit. Looks like, okay, here we go. So he put out 100 here, and we're going to come out Jack deuce. So Sammy misses, but that's not going to slow him down like 90% of the time. It's going to be able to muscle it on through. Paul's saying poker streams are hot right now. Now that is a fact, man. So we shall continue. I thought I saw Ernesto in here. The chat czar Nick from Yuma as well. It's people here in the chat pregame saying, let's effing go Bart, says Jeff. Matthews says, get him Bart. Vinny Eckert says, crush live poker. Glad to see all you folks out here from Crush Live Poker. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're streaming typically Mondays, Wednesdays, and the occasional Saturday. We've got a ladies' night stream tomorrow night. Be a rare Tuesday show for us, but all right. So we've got a $200, I think, quadruple straddle. So we get Fox calling for 200, Pure calling for 200. And Sammy here with a couple of ladies is up to 1,500. Does anybody feel splashy enough to want to call? Matt could decide that Sammy could raise a lot of number of hands out of the straddle that aren't necessarily premium that he could feel like going with, but he also has to battle with the fact that he's got like 3 players behind that will potentially get tangled up with. So ace-10 suited, I think, kind of multi-way in this kind of game. And Pierre on the button, I think, has just decided, like, you know what, I'm going to step this one out. So Ken saying, how long is this show tonight? I mean, we can go, at least we're slated to at least go till about 11. So we load up our board. I believe it comes out Jack 10. Fox can exercise some pot control, and okay, so we will get a straight here for Sammy, 2 pair here for Fox, bottom 2, which on this particular kind of run out is not the most wonderful feeling to be holding 2 pairs. So and we are actually going to get a rip here by the Fox and a 6 ball on the end. Fox opting to go for the shove here in this spot. Hoping to maybe blast off of Sammy's hand if it was just, say, like ace-king or, you know, king-jack or any number of bluffs, but that was quite a pot here to start. We got Jimmy Bluffett going on here in the chat. And that would have actually been such a huge hand there for Matt, too, that had ace-10 of clubs. Imagine getting that flop here in this particular game and then that turn card. So some unfortunate luck there. So unless, okay, maybe we're just counting out some of the stacks here. So, all right, continue. Live at the Palms at Palms Social. You can check us out on Instagram at Palms Social 512, our website, Palms Social Club. So Facebook as well. We got links again to crushlivepoker.com for our friend Bart Hanson, and the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, we've been having a little bit more of the 5-10 crowd here on our Monday night streams, and yeah, I guess that's probably just going to be what the game's going to be. So Wednesdays have typically been Pot Limit Omaha. Had some really, really good action games there that have been pretty entertaining to watch. And invite you to hit subscribe, hit the like. Let me get the good word out here about Palm Social. All right? Let's move on here to the next hand, folks. As you can see on the Felt of Dreams, built by our good friends at Texas Poker Supply, the best in the business. And dreams and nightmares here in the early going here at Live at the Palms. So we are going to get a rebuy, and it looks like some folds all the way around as Pure here now with the raise up to 250. Gonna go attack some straddles. Sammy probably going to fold here, but it's out there still counting chips. E-Man, Trey, anybody with racks. We'll see if Westlake has anything to go along with. He absolutely will. Fred Flintstone may as well. So we've got the $100 straddle out. Just your regular 5, 10, 25, 50, 100 game tonight going on at Palm Social as gonna come out jack high with 2 clubs. Pierre with the ace of clubs, top pair, 9 kicker here from Matt, and first act is gonna drive the action over here to Pierre, put out more than half side. I mean, unless he announced the bet, it's gonna be 500 announced bet. Matt absolutely not gonna fold here in this spot. Does all right, so we will go here to our turn card. Once we load that on up, it is going to be the 5 of diamonds. Pierre thinking about the second bullet here. I'm wondering. It's going to lay back, and we will go to the 3 of hearts on the end. Jacks up here for Matt, and I'm trying to think, is there hands that he could still bet here for value? Or is it still, you know, like with 10s, 9s, 8s call? Or is this just a better spot to try to induce a bluff from an opponent? Whereas there tends to seem to be more good outcomes in spots like this. So 1.8K. Pierre recognizing ace high. Still has a chance to maybe take the pot. We'll check it back. And Matt will take a decent-sized winner here in the early going. $5.10, $25 night. Join us here in the chat. You can leave us a comment if you are watching on the archive. Seeing a lot of repeat views, and hopefully just trying to get the good word out there. And you got to do your part by smashing that like. So if you've done so, I salute you. You're an essential worker here for us. So, all right, we've got E-Man, okay, excuse me. I've got this mixed up. E-Man and John D. So Button raise, and Matt on one of the straddles, but I think we'll have two straddles to act behind him. Is actually going to go the more aggro route here out of position. Gets the 3-bet here to 1.3 to try to thin the field. Bart not going to get too spicy with the 3 deuce of clubs, considering the 3-better. So, John thinking about a call of 975 here in this spot, and Matt just gets to pick up all that free money just with a little bit of aggression here pre-flop. So, Paul's saying 3 cameras, nice. Yeah, we've got some really nice some 4K cameras. And, like, we've upgraded some of our equipment to be able to handle all the data that runs through, that goes here from this table to our computer system. So, you know, week by week, we're just kind of figuring out the things we can do and hopefully keep improving on your experience here on this live stream. So, straddles continuing, and Matt with a raisable hand out of the big blind. We'll actually just want to have this go multi-way. Bart's going to check his option, and going to come out ace, king, jack with 2 diamonds. Bart with a gutter ball to a queen. Matt with top pair, no kicker, really. 8 of diamonds does actually give Fred Flintstone a flush draw, but not much of a pot, not much of a card to continue to pursue. And I think this should just be it, as Matt will fire 75 and take it. Michael says, we love you, Mike. Yeah, but I love you back, bro. Appreciate you guys being here. Jack saying John D, the best poker player of all time. He also pulls Mad, too. Just a savage, apparently. Well, we've satisfied the bro part of our audience and demographic. The bro demographic is a very powerful one, or at least it likes to tell you so, bro. And more power to the bros, man. I'm not here to stomp on your fight. Alright, we will continue up to the 50 and the hundo. We'll see how this kind of alters plays once you start getting some extra straddles in the mix and different sizings, different situations. And Bart picking up kings. Pierre here with 8 of diamonds, 8 of clubs, and pretty standard call here in this spot. So let's see if this gets spicy. Well, that is going to be the overpair and straight draw for Bart, but completely disintegrates Pierre's probably interest in this hand. I mean, just eviscerated. Pierre's probably just already folded about it. Oh, there it is. Insta-muck. Paul saying I just sub, bro. Thanks, man. Carlo, what up, gang? The chat is here. The chat is here. Michael asking, what are you drinking? Well, of course, I am drinking the superhuman performance of C4 Energy with 0 sugars. Never let you down. The secret to my success, to be honest. Paul's saying it's like I've never skipped leg day. I've been skipping leg day a lot, so I think I just need more of those inspirational videos that David Goggins just yells at you for like 5 minutes. Come on, go out and run. I've run like 500 miles today, you pussy. It's like, whoa, this guy's fired up. Okay, we've got Trey Gonna fire this up here to 200 and Bart with rags. Fox gonna come along with a king 5 of clubs and it's an interesting one multi-way. I don't expect Pierre to fold, but here we go. 3 different directions. Trey the pre-flop razor in late positions. Going to flop a gutter ball. 2 pair here for Pierre. Fox here with potentially backdoor clubs. And I could see Trey knuckling this one just for the hope of a way better turn card to arrive. We'll get 10 ball pairs up Trey here. And also gives the Fox a flush draw. Will lead out about a 5th pot bet of 150. This has worked out relatively well here for Trey, so small little pot being built up for him. Does have the best hand, but may not know it yet. Does 9 on the Amperes made a boat. I expect Trey's probably ditching this, but it probably looks like a really weird lead out into this spot that, man, I mean, you don't have clubs in hand. There could be just some queen X of clubs, but it's tough to find a lot of hands that bet there in that spot multi-way that you're just like, yeah, I'm comfortable making a call here with this, so. Maverick Top Gun. Bart Hanson fan here. Bart is super smart, great poker player. Well, like Paul saying Bart has got great hand analysis videos. Yeah, that's one of the things you'll see on the Instagram that I think he's done a really good job of is just marketing to an audience that is actually, trying to be reminded again of the finer points of this game when it comes to these cash games. So, I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of training sites, and it's just as much of does the content connect to you and your interests. And every one of these the sites that exist out there, they've got some specific niches that they're just great instructions for. So, all right, E-Man gonna limp with the old Jack 8 of diamonds. Mr. Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba do on the button for a 100 call. Bart here with the old 8 of spades. And Fox gonna make the call up here. All right, we're gonna go very multi-way here. 6 ways. What's going on? Comment deleted. What's up, buddy? Hey, all right. Comes out 7-6 deuce. Bart with the best of it, but still like 5 other players to have to sift through. No particular draws of any sort for anybody. Jack gonna peel. It gives Fred Flintstone a flush draw. E-Man on top pair. Bart's hand has just bit the dust. It has gone bye-bye. There's no hope. And E-Man now leads to 200, and Mr. Fred Flintstone with a call to 200. I think Bart recognizes there's a number of draws that could still potentially be out there that his hand could be ahead of. He unfortunately has no outs as the 8's all out there. 10 ball on the end. I would expect this probably goes check all the way through unless Fred Flintstone. Okay, D-Man's gonna go skim for some value here. So Bart here now trying to put this piece together as does it smell like a value bet if it's... But there's just the potential of so many draws, and I think going with one straight and then going two, that it's totally reasonable. But we'll tap the table, and that will be a solid pot there for Eman. Caitlin Kmetsky here in the house, and let's effing go. Ford Roberts saying, say this John guy looks like he's about to steal other women. I don't know. I it seemed like some very strong women with convictions out there that, I mean, although probably clearly impressed, you know. I never knew a guy could specifically look like that. I guess that's crazy talk. We got PokerNet. So if you haven't heard yet, we are going to be on Poker Atlas starting on this Wednesday. You can open up that app and you can see a pleasant surprise. We got Palm Social, the ability to join the waitlist. We're currently still in the Tempest Portal app, which shows that we've got this game. We've got a 2-5 no limit game happening. We've got a 1-3 with bomb pots, 1-2-5 PLO. We shall continue. Anything going on here? Fox limping out of the small blind. Off to the 100. And we've got junk up against junk. The best kind of streaming poker, in my opinion. Tom Hare here for E-Man, who just straddle versus blind will get the old bet full, does. PokerNet, that's the first Bart calling with a losing hand. Yeah, I don't see that too often, but I'm trying to go back into my Rolodex of hands of the things that have happened and TCH Live and during the old show and all that kind of stuff, so... Heck of a path that we all shall lead, and... Bart again playing one of the toughest hands here for Matt, and I hope it doesn't haunt him because it's just like had a set over set in a really big pot, and I hope that's just not a thought that Lord's after. This is a guy who attacks, so alright, raise up here to 275. Pierre not loving his position against the player will fold out the Queen 10 of spades, and Trey gonna call the suited 9-5. Let's do this. Alright, pair and a straight draw now here for Trey. The gutter ball to a 7, Matt with bottom pair. You can assume a lot of Trey's range, probably calling out of a straddle, is going to be a ton wider, so he can either decide to be in bluff catching mode, bet a call. Does Matt with a better 5, Trey though still with some oats. No oats there as checky. And that's just a really solid hand played by the artist formerly known as Westlake. Pot of 1K and PokerNet saying the fox. He looks like really a fox. Yeah, we try to, synonymize with like a spirit animal for every player. What's going on, Ernesto? Good friend. A legend back there in Portugal amongst the streaming streets. The ultimate shot pro. The teacher of the way. Okay, let's continue here. 5, 10, 25. We've gotten straddles up to... I think we had a $200 quadruple going at one point. And I got Pierre here on the button with a raise up. Probably coming folded to him with... Okay, so the 200 is on. He's going to make it 5 on the button. Many in the chat suggesting John D may just be thinking about the other players' wives. I don't know. I think he's classier than that, to be honest, but... Gonna make the fold, and let's take it to this little place called 3Bet City here for Matt. Those sitting with 9K. Appears very deep here, and probably gonna draw out a fold here. Does Matt playing pretty much spot on for the most part, and Sammy won a big pot early up against the Fox in a tough one. Tried to take a stab at a pot and just kind of got shown the better hand. As Ernesto St. Bart sent us. That was one of the old running bits we started talking about right at the beginning of the show. I mean, it was true. Like, I mean, that was, super helpful for us and, helpful for me at that time just to help develop the platform. So we invite you to like and subscribe. See, maybe we can get up over 800 here after the end of the night. I think that is more than doable. 781 right now, with just small steps. All right, E-Man here with Pocket Kings. We will go up here to what looks like 335. Shout out here to our producers and Sonny, Action Tracker Q, Uncle Sam here, executive producer. All right, we got Flintstone calling for 235 and just quads. I think that is going to win the high hand of the day here, potentially here at Palm Social. Is again $100 high hand reward that is paid out by 10 p.m. So there's a high hand for PLO, high hand for Hold'em. E-Man could be winning that right here, which is nice for like at least $100 in chips. E-Man here with quads and a winner. And you can be too here at Palm Social. Located here at 9070 Research Boulevard. North Central Austin. Kind of just along 183. Nicest room here in Austin. Just a very comfortable feel here for the most part. And great action as always. We've got servers here. The only place in town here that has this ability to get what you want to drink and certainly help you out when you're trying to get food as well around this. Is plenty of places to eat around here. Well, we had a straddle out to 100. I don't know if anybody really... Okay, we've loaded up here to the small blind. E-Mat's certainly going to make this 325 plus with King, Queen of Spades. It might be a little bit more... Okay, yep. Travis Jensen saying, good game going. Damn right it is. This is a great game. Okay, we got E-Man to 350. We got Fred Flintstone with 10-9 of spades. And Bart, out of one of the straddles, is going to call for 250 more. Multi-way. 6 of spades, 5 of hearts. Middle pair here for Bart. Unpaired for everybody else, but... I wonder if Bart bets here because he just assumes there's very little, like, ace-x that is not huge that he could potentially bet on, but... Taking it the safe route. Speed draw turns now for E-Man and Flintstone. I imagine Bart's probably done with this. E-Man is just beginning. Bet out to 275. Fred Flintstone also with a pair draw with his perceived flush draw, but E-Man with the higher flush draw. Let's take it to the river. Oh, this could be sick here. Jack of spades on the end, flush over flush. Fred Flintstone's got 2.8k, pot's 1.6, so you'd be assured that any bet E-Man will make here will probably put Fred Flintstone out of position to just shove, so. Yeti cooler than I'd happening right here as bet of 800. I mean, maybe there are some scenarios here where Flintstone could perceive that there are potentially higher flushes out here. Could opt for like a min raise, but you would expect with what the sitting with 2.8k, it's just going to be a rip, it's going to be a snap, and Fred Flintstone is about to see today is not his lucky day. So flush over flush here live at the Paul, $7,200 pot. Hit the like, hit subscribe, and we shall continue on here as a heck of a cash game that we've got going here at Palm Social. As we got a good friend Alan Pichatello, sup Mike. Trying to needle Bart, says Bart gets VPIP over 50 or 20. I'm not sure if like I think with some of the straddles out there, that's not going to happen because he's been putting out a fair amount. So, all right, we continue on. Big winner there for E-Man as I find very few scenarios, I think, in that spot where you probably just don't go broke there in these kind of games, but does on over to E-Man, who has run pretty hot, sitting with over like 14k. Trey here now out of the small blind. We'll give it on up, and Matt with a raisable spot out of the big blind. Looks like 225, 300. Okay, 3 blocks. So Alan in the chat saying I'm playing the great game of PLO. Okay, Alan, this is a formal invitation. Wednesday, if you want to come here and talk PLO with me, the seat is yours. Okay, we've got Fox raising out of the button to looks like 300 or 400. Does looks like we've got Fred Flintstone. Did he decide to fold or muck? Loading. Haha, there we are. We got Fred Flintstone, we got Matt, we got Fox. We've got three-way action as comes out 7-5 deuce. Not much for Matt or Fox, just but ace high. The Fox, I believe, was the pre-flop raiser. Fred Flintstone might just be on tilt and just say to hell with it. I'm just going to go attack. As certainly can't blame him there in that spot. Just, you lose a big pot. Sometimes you just want to go just win the next one and just be like, all right, I got just a little bit out of my system. Deep into hour one here on Live at the Palms. Appreciate all you tuning on into the chat. Looking to make over 800 subscribers. You know, soon then we can unleash the super chats and you can get your message out there. But until then, we just need a like brigade here of all of you fine people punching down. Boom! Alright, what do we got? We got Fox with the 9-7 here, the raise up to 250. Piers going to make the call is... Let's come out Ace King 4. All rainbow. Lawrence Popper saying smash that like button. God, what's going on, Lawrence? Good to see you out here. As Pierre here calling the 250 continuation bet, and we'll go ahead and protect this hand here on the turn as could perceive Fox to have a number of hands like Queen Jack, Jack 10, potentially like 4x with hearts that don't necessarily want to leave yourself out on an island. So Aaron Bart says Florida in the house. All right, we got a Florida man. That's a great start. Thomas Gould saying good luck, Bart. Nice to have Bart here again. There's a big part of the history of these streams too. That starting like one of the founders of Live at the Bike at that time, which was kind of like my first introduction, and like it was such a different system that was being put in at that time. I remember he had talked just about the table that weighed like at least 500 to 1,000 pounds, just with monitors and all that kind of stuff. So we've come a very long way since then. And happy to have him here. Good to see him again. I know he's expecting a firstborn soon, so you understand days are delicate. You're just kind of waiting for stuff to happen. So, all right, we got Fred Flintstone, the Fox, Sammy, mostly with trash, but optimistic trash. Like, we've got hope. E-Man here with a gutter ball. Bottom pair for Fox. Sammy now will be the one to take a stab at this. Probably a small enough bet here that E-Man multi-way. We'll speculate on as it's now a pair of fours here for Sammy. He's made the best hand, but E-Man with overs to that and a gutter ball to a king. Checky, checky, checky. It is a 7 on the end, so this would be really weird if it gets to showdown. Does E-Man try to blast off here? Pretty much has no choice, and I wonder if Sammy pick it off here. You could perceive a lot of King 10, King Jacks. Jack 10 especially, but this is a not easy call, but Sammy's the kind of guy who's just like, I don't give it, He can have it in him to make this call, but it is an awfully tough one with this run out that there still could be some hands of value that are just absolutely crushing, but it is going to be E-Man recognizing the spot, attacking, and picking up the pot. Very nicely done. Lawrence saying it's good to hear your voice, Youngblood. Thanks, man. But I've been over here, stream on Mondays and Wednesdays, and occasional Saturdays. We've got Ladies' Night tomorrow night. I will not be the host for that, but we are looking forward to having our second edition of Ladies' Night here at Palm Social. Then we've got Wednesday 2-5 Pot Limit Omaha. The game has been crazy these last few weeks. It is an enormous amount of fun if you've loved the 4-card game, because just all in after all in after all in, draw, 2 pairs. Some of the weirdest hand combos you'll ever see. Just very fun. Men asking a question we all ask all the time. What the WTF are those arms? He's really hitting the hard-hitting questions here. Okay, we've got Fox here with the Jack 10, Sammy here with 9 deuce, John D with the double gutted, straight draw into a 5 or 9. Nobody else with really any reason to probably continue on this, so we'll get it through. So again, my name is Mike Youngblood, the dude talking. Appreciate our team and production staff that get us on the air, including our floor manager, Matt. It's part of the squad. Got Q continuing to do really well here as an action tracker. Sonny, producer Sonny here, really put in the outline for a lot of the cameras. So this has just been kind of fun to continue to piece together. Continue to just kind of see, okay, we're getting to surface level here. We need the support of the folks like you. Smash the like and click and subscribe. So, all right, Trey had opened to 300. Fred Flintstone calling with 9-7. He had rebought probably around 7K at one point, or 6K, most likely 6. They took a cooler with the 10-9 of spades over the king-queen of spades, and well, we did not get a pre-flop raise out of Sammy. Then Pierre not interested as well. It's going to come out 8-8-6. Straight draw here for Fred Flintstone. Pierre with 2 pair. Not much to look down the well with here, as last act, Fred Flintstone will fire, so I think this should weed this down. Potentially Pierre. Maybe Sammy would float here, but I'm probably expecting folds from everybody else. Yep, we're going to go heads up here as Lindsay Kimbrough says Little Rock in the house. Yeah, you can stop University of Arkansas. Man, they really took it to them horns. So, all right, 8-ball is going to peel off. So, Pierre continues with the best hand. Now Fred can only win with a 9, but Pierre can probably assume any like ace-6 would still be betting in this spot, so maybe the only card that might give Pierre a little bit of pause, but you can understand Fred's probably steaming that there aren't going to be more bluffs in him, and he will get the benefit of a check down and take down a nice 3.8k pot as the prettiest card in the deck, the old 8 of spades. Then we're moving here to Poker Atlas. You'll see that on the app starting this Wednesday. Currently here on the Tempest Portal app here at Palm Social. Got 1-2-5 PLO game. We got a 2-5 no limit game happening. Along with our 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 200 game. that certainly has been a lot of action tonight. Fox can make a call, and Dragon raise here with the 8-7 of spades. Says all right, we're going to go heads up here. Trey flopping trip 8s. Fox has whiffed on this. Trey going to try to invite some action. And Fox slowing down there. Does 3 of clubs on the turn. So bet at 450, now by trade, and I think that's going to probably do it here for Fox. So, yeah, follow me on Instagram at HoopsMike or Twitter at HoopsMike, trying to dish out the takes. 8's running hot here. It must be a sign that I just have to like message Steam Duel and say, hey, bro, how you doing? I haven't actually talked to Steamy in a while, so... See your good friend Bart Hanson here from Crush Live Poker. You can check out his YouTube channel. Also, Crush Live call-in shows. I know many of you folks are more familiar with it, a bigger part of it. But links to the channel and website. Been a $25 straddle here for most of the night. And John D. waking up with the Juggalos. The J.J. Bareas, the J.J. Reddicks. The J.J. Hicksons. Fred Flintstone now here with pocket 9s. And this could get splashy. Call 375. Let's take it heads up. And well, overpair here for John D. A kind of callable board that Fred could get sticky to potentially. Just can invite plenty of reasons to at least go one more straight, but again, took kind of a cooler. You just, maybe he's steaming, maybe he's not, but we will at least take a gander out of turn card as this pot built up to 2.9. Ace. Potential scare card for either one, but who is the one that blinks first? I don't know. I like I've seen Fred. Okay, there it did blink, so John D can just sort of proceed as normal as I would probably expect he would. In his thought process, there was just generally more 10x calling. But turning his hand slightly into a bluff here as the ace peels and he takes. Then we got our daily high hands going out. We had somebody hit quads. We had E-Man. He hit quads earlier. Again, a prize of $100 in value. Payout at 10 p.m. each day. That's daily no limit and pot limit Omaha high hands. And that should have also got in the quads promo here as You get quads. That is a free monthly membership on us here at Palm Social. This has been an active straddle game here, boys. So Trey now here with ace queen and a raise up now to 350. This will bring it on over to Matt as well. Bottom pair now here for Fred Flintstone. Does Trey and Matt, not much else going on. Deuce of hearts on the turn. Does zilch, nada. Looks like Trey is going to float here as Fred last to act, betting his third pair on board. Is now a niner. The 9 Triz banks at home. Trey's got nothing though. The ever infamous 9 Triz lives on. Trey, he could conjure up some scenarios here where Fred's fired up. He's trying to attack a lot of pots where ace high can be good. But I don't know, like it's just with no diamonds in hand, you can perceive Fred to have more diamonds in the spot that have just missed. So he's trying to weigh if this is like, can I make this? Little does he know he's been crushed at the behest of the 9 Triz. Trey's still thinking here. So, I mean, there are potential ace-x of diamonds. It can pair together a lot of diamond combos that would have potentially bet turn and were that still remain unpaired. But it's actually a value bet here by your boy Fred Flintstone. This guy rocks. All right, we'll continue on here live at the Palms. It is our Monday edition. Been having a little bit more of our 5-10 games here, and I actually forgot there's some kind of football match happening, and there's baseball, and there's college football, and you can watch them all here at Palm Social, especially come on out here on Saturdays. All right, we will get a dealer change, and the 5-10-25 game continues. All right, so the Bills are up on the Titans. That 6-0, so not too much provoking. How about that Cowboys game the other day? Jesus. Yeah, a lot of the games were pretty bad. Those a lot of blowouts, but that was one of the best games I ever saw this year. As an impartial viewer, I'm not a Cowboys guy, not a big Patriots guy, but I enjoy when we get spectacles and just lead changes, big decisions, and everybody can kind of stomp their feet and like clock management and all that good stuff. So, wow. How about those Cowboys? Okay, that is. I still think maybe they're a little overhyped, but you see a lot more signs of competency that you can trust. That at least winning the division shouldn't be too difficult if they continue. All right, let's move on as John D with 9s on the bum is going to raise up to Tree Fitty. E-Man says, I ain't got your Tree Fitty. Trey is going to make it more than 350. It looks like he's going to 3-bet out of the big blind. Rather probably fooled out. The two fellows behind him with the kind of hand that he has is... John D just going to flat and go up to a 1.9k pot. And what do we got here? Queen, 10, king. Just the nuts here for Trey, but another situation where his opponents got the worst kind of hand to try to be going to war with. Those John D here only really with a gutter ball. As that will be a winner as we will try to register that board. And that way we can ship the chips on over there to Trey. As we continue live the Palms, hit like and subscribe. Had a modest goal of just getting over 800 subscribers. We stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and some Saturdays. Be on the lookout for that. As easiest way to follow along is just hit subscribe and ring the bell. So, I mean, if you love streaming poker, you loved everything that the Austin poker community has really. I don't know what's the right word to use with just kind of appreciate it. This is the place. So we thank you so much for joining us. John DeCarlo says, guess I just have to root for John D. Or potentially, according to the chat, he's going to take your girl. So you don't want to get on the wrong side of him, apparently. Put the moves on. That's just what's been alleged. I don't know that for a fact. Okay, we've got an open here by Sammy up to 275. Trey is going to call here for just about that amount as well. And Fox here going to complete here as good golly, we have got some hefty straddles out. Those. All right, let's load up our board here. Scanning. It is going to be Fox is in the third position in this hand, betting on this board. So until we see what actually is happening, he's going to go bet calls. Sammy is also going to come along with ace-9 of spades. So I think we do get two folds from Trey and Fred Flintstone. So something's... Okay, there we go. That is the Jack... Excuse me, the Queen 10, Jack 8. Sammy makes a straight. And so does Fred Flintstone. And it looks like, unless that was a 9 on the end. Okay, that was a 7, so Fox, I believe, betting at it, and then Sammy putting in a raise, and Fred Flintstone getting folded out of it. So Sammy's running hot here tonight. John saying, what is Bart looking at every few seconds? You might be watching some of the hand replays. There's also Monday Night Football happening, so we got a lot of TVs in here to enjoy the experience. So the straddles keep piling up. 5, 10, 25, 50, 100. You got a great... This is what I'm talking about right here. This great game. I know Bart's expecting her first child soon, so I know it's... You always want to make sure you're alert, just in case, say, you're needed. So, gracious to come by and introduce his audience here to us. 5, 10, 25, 50, 100. You got a great... This is what I'm talking about right here. This great game. I know Bart's expecting her first child soon, so I know it's... You always want to make sure you're alert, just in case, say, you're needed. So, gracious to come by and introduce his audience here to us. John D here with the open now to 3 hundo is going to get folds from the racks. Bart with 2 other straddles behind him, not going to call with 8-7. Pure probably going to make the call with 9-8 off. Here we go, heads up as top pair here for John D. Pure with nada, zilch, or words that I've used before, squat douche. Okay, this is going to take the pot there, and we've had a fair amount of action here for straddles up to 200. I think maybe we saw like a 250 being plopped out there to try to raise the stakes. Got a flush over flush hand between Fred Flintstone and E-Man. Fox tried to make a move on Sammy when it turned to straight, and Fox had 2 pair and didn't fill up. And so only here in like the first hour, I've had a hell of a lot of action here. What's going on? There's a name that you'd love to see. Your boy E. McKenzie. I was asking Aaron McKinnis. I'm like, boy, I've not seen a lot of E. McKenzie in my life lately. I was starting to get worried. So we've got Matt raising up to 150. Bart is going to put out a 3-bet. Looks like out of the big blind. They'll size up to 600. Again, I think opting with more because of the amount of straddles that have been out here for a pretty consistent part of the night. And we maybe do have to give like a disclaimer that, you know, anybody that is going to be along like seats 4, 5, and 6 and 7, you know, like your phone is kind of exposed. So like I've only been just terrified of something totally inappropriate happening up on there. So we might have to, but there you can see, but that's actually cool. You see a chat pro live in action, watching, going around a 30-minute delay. So, you know, we don't want to be a phone police. We want to be able to have people be able to promote and just, you know. You saying I took a bunch of time away from the tables, took a long trip to Florida, rode some coasters, walked some miles, just living life. You know, I think that's a damn fine thing to do. This world will sometimes eat you up and take you all sorts of different directions, and understand how to bob and ebb and weave out of that. That seems to be what I see people that are pretty successful do. So hopefully get you out of here on this table, maybe in the commentary booth. All right, anything happened in this football game? Apparently, the Titans of Tennessee are now leading 7-6. And there's no bigger Buffalo Bills fan than our man, the dude, Chris Kozlowski in the box, also general manager here. So he's saying, luckily I'm having my poker life. I live in my poker life vicariously through Westlake. Bart now here with the button open here now at 300. And I don't think we will have anybody come along with them. Has had 10s the previous hand and now gets the opportunity to open with a reasonable holding on the button with the straddles out. Just no post-flop action. So that would be good. And, you know, I think we're in a technically sound place, knock on wood, that if he came in, you wouldn't mush the stream. And I you know, if you've really done the deep work and the deep cleaning You know, you may have fleshed that out as well, so that's... Comment deleted saying there is way too much money on Buffalo for them to cover tonight. It tends to be how it goes. As Bart now with Ace King. Waking up with some hands finally. There's Fox going to make the call most likely with sixes. This is a weird one here for Pierre. Hasn't seen Bart raise too many hands yet. Is now going to take the aggressive path and go 5x. The raise up to 1.5 with, again, a bunch of straddles out here in the mix going up in size. And now Bart gets to play this hand in position with also with Fox behind. So he has to account for the player here on the button. Probably not expecting a trap, but I could see, yeah, 4 betting seems to be more of what I think I've seen Bart do typically in these spots, because I think he's aware enough and has probably played with Pierre enough to know that against all the number of straddlers and the extra money that's built up in this, like, Pierre's just incentivized to go for this move just to fold out some of the hands. And, well, we will get it all in here for the Fox. Gonna put it in. We'll see how much it is. I don't know if that amount is particularly correct, but somewhere in the ballpark of it. And I think because the sizing out, Pierre's just gonna step out. So we will go Ace King versus sixes. Your boy Bart Hanson of Crush Live Poker. Here we go. Does 1 time or 2 times? And if we go by default, just say run it once. And it's going to be a flopped ace. 10 ball peels, and oh wow, it was actually a set of sixes that was hit by Fox. So Fox going to get the dub and a little bit more. Now up to 7.9K, and so it was ace 6 deuce. Yeah, I would have to imagine, you know, even if say like Bart just like flatted that spot, which I don't expect if it's multi-way. You know, if maybe had Fox just called behind, the result would have been the same either way. So, whew. Flop set here for Fox. We'll try to spin it up into more, so. Maybe we can get Bart to stop back and visit here if he doesn't have to hustle out, even for a couple of minutes. Alright, is Pierre going to go up to 500? John D with ace jack of clubs. E-Man not loving the price for 5-4 suited. Matt not wanting to go multi-way with Jack 10 because Pierce did Trey call in between, and Fred Flintstone with a 200 straddle on. Ian McKenzie saying I'm really enjoying the camcorder from 1993 for the overhead camera. I mean, I personally installed that out of just my own nostalgia. You know, I just wanted it to look that way, so I'd be reminded of how far we've come. So, another thing on my to-do list of things we would love to maximize and improve our quality viewing experience. Alright, 9-3 deuce says, unless Trey's got something paired, Pierre's probably got the best hand. And I think the thing with that is once we zoom in It looks a little bit better. It looks actually fairly better once it's faded out. For some reason, like, the closer we get, like, it's just not quite right to the level we want, but we're getting there. All right, we've got a bet and a call. The king of spades is going to turn. Comment deleted, calling it says Stu Unger Cam. I like that. All right, check you check, and a 7 bangs home on the end. So, without knowing what Trey has, oh, this could be pain. Bet of 1.6 says. I mean, this is a disconnected board. I mean, it is. The cards are correct. It's like the third nuts at this point. So Pirna just trying to circle the waters and create a size and figure out, okay, well, if Trey's just got 2.4, he's probably just going to shove. And hopes he gets paid off by the King X of something, but I would imagine Trey is turning his hand into a bluff for sure. Okay. Tinny here on Live at the Palms. Mike Himlet, the dude talking. Boy, we got a dislike brigade just happening. People stomping their feet to... We appreciate you guys interacting here with us. You can leave us a comment if you're watching on the archive. Hit us up here in the chat. Potentially, come on. I mean, 50 likes, that's solid, but come on.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Facts. Facts. We are kind of rookies, but it is. Comment deleted really does have the feel of an old WSOP video. We need some cigarette smokes and... Yeah, trust me, no whole card cams. Those are some gem broadcasts out there. If you ever watch some of them, you'll just see like TJ Cloutier just puffing away. We got Bart raising up here to 300. Fox gonna call it 3s. Fred Flintstone, Jack 7. So John D here with pocket 6s says... Is going to be a bet now here, it looks like, by Fred Flintstone. One of the first to lead at it. All right, Jack 8 Deuce is top pair. Bart has got a gutter ball, but backdoor diamonds. Let's see, 300 into this pot. Bart's going to make the call. Get to play this hand in position up against Fred Flintstone. Bang! There goes a 10. Here for Bart. Bart hitting the gut shot and down. Faces a $700 bet here on the turn. Pot built up to 2.7. So I would expect probably a raise here, but after that, I don't necessarily know if Fred Flintstone's going to continue on this, but Bart looking for sizing to either protect his hand and hopefully get value from hands that will continue. Then we'll go up to 1.9K. I expect Fred is done with this, but I'm sure in Bart's mind there can be a lot of hands like Jack 9, Jack 10 that are typically held here, not kind of towards the bottom of range, but he's made Fred Flintstone a non-believer. Going to make the call to 1.2K. And this one is not going to be chopped. Bart still holds the best hand. 7 to Jack straight. 3.7K in his pot, I would probably expect. Is it just going to rip it? It's probably the most reasonable sizing for him to get max value and hope to God it gets called by a jack. And See if Fred Flint. It looks like Bart has Fred covered by the numbers that we have at this point. So Fred thinking here. I don't know if he could piece together the kind of bluffs Bart would potentially have here, but maybe he has ace or king kicker. This would be a closer call, but I just generally find, turn raises in this spot, rainbow board, in games like this don't tend to be semi-bluffs very often, but the only bluff candidates what Bart would have would be like king queen potentially. But as I try to piece together any other hands that he would maybe a hand like 10-9 would potentially try to take that route as John DeCarlo saying, was Flintstone too long to fit or worried about copyright infringement? I just think that's his name. I'm actually serious. That might actually just be his name. It's like, yeah, this is just a mix-up that happens all the time. Pure coincidence. No, the great Flintstones from Huxbury and somewhere in the UK. Is that a town? I'm sure that is. Probably getting all the dislikes from the people in the UK. This whacker. All right, 5-10-25 continues tonight on Live at the Palms. Your boy Bart Hanson from Crush Live Poker joining us. So thank you for all of us that have checking out the channel here, streaming Mondays and Wednesdays and the occasional Saturdays. Again, hit like and subscribe. Trying to get over at least 800 subs tonight. Keep building, growing. And introducing you here to the good stuff here at Palm Social in Austin, Texas. Trey now with pocket nines, Fred Flintstone with king 9 offsuit, and Sammy going to be in with queen jack suited. See, what do we get aboard? We got one. Sammy is probably flopping best on this. Looks like he's flopped jack 9-4. Oh, we have Trey with a set of nines, though. We're reloading the action from the start. There's Fred Flintstone with the other 9, so we have Fox. And I think Sammy also in the mix, and Fox putting in a raise. We don't know what the heck he has. Raise up to 1.6, and Trey also with a 9 of clubs in hand. That could also potentially turn into a backdoor draw if he gets himself into a pickle here as second nuts here in this spot. And now, waiting for the moment. I think he probably has more than 2K in the spot. I feel like it's slightly more. There's 700 to 1.6 is so Trey probably just trying to find a way to get all the money in, but I think we might be just working through a technical glitch at this point. I cannot unfortunately hear the dialogue here, but maybe you can. Okay, maybe we had Sammy in the pot, and that's what was causing the holdup, because he would have had top pair with the queen kicker, so... I think, okay, I see what happened there in that spot. I go by Zach says, what are we eating here? Some baked ziti? It's a good question. And we have got an all-in and a call. It's going to show a set of nines. We've not gotten the Fox's hand. He's ripping it. So maybe he's got clubs. It is going to be a boat here. So nines full of jacks. Oh, so Fox had top pair with a 10. And was pretty much drawing dead on the turn unless he had the 10 of clubs. So Trey going to win a big pot here. And tough one there for the Fox. John Carlin saying the chairs make it social. Yeah, there are some very comfy chairs out here in Palm Social. As we carry on into the night, Mike, I'm going to let the dude talking. Great to have Bart Hanson here. Crush Live Poker has got links in the description to, again, check out his website, Crush Live Poker, and the YouTube channel. Got our website as well, Palm Social Club, Instagram, Palm Social 512. And we are going to our Poker Atlas starting here on Wednesday. Poker Atlas coming here on Wednesday, so want to get on the list for these games. Yeah, that is going to be the place. We are still on the Tempest Portal F for the time being. And we shall continue here. Well, it's been a wild game. Lots of straddles, big action. And a great game happening here as... Alright, we've seen 200. I think we've seen 250 straddles. I don't know if that is going to be the end for our good friend the Fox. May call it a night. Maybe we'll see if we got any of our alternates here ready to play our 5, 10, 25 game. It is some big money happening here. So, what in the world do we have going on here, folks? Okay, let's scan back out, because we got a lot of money tossed in here to the middle. Alright, as we continue. Maybe we have like a splash pot being put out here. Chadwick Yates says, nice, Harlan Williams is working in the booth. Damn straight. Best Harlan Williams impersonator in town. Alright, Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Well, we've got a big time pot limit Omaha bomb pot. I see what happened. Alright, we are loading up all the PLO hands. So 855, 10, 4. Let's see, does anybody have a 5 in hand? Matt! Westlake Matt has got Jack 5, Westgate. Here with trip 5s. And unless Pierre has a better winner under there, this rapid fire PLO bomb pot of 3K is going to go here to Matt. Oh, Holy moly, Massachusetts says... Ton of action here at Palm Social. Again, if you want to play PLO, this is the place to do it. Some of the best games here in town if you're really loving to play PLO. So, no limit cash games have been terrific as well. Again, you'll find us here on the Poker Atlas app here soon enough. Alright, let's ship our winner over there to Matt as... we continue at Palms Social. Check us out on Instagram. Again, Palm Social 512. Get daily updates of what's happening here around the room. Alright, let's go back here to our 5-10 no limit hold'em game as mandatory 25 has been put on and everybody else has been keeping the straddles going. We shall see if that trend continues. Alright, Sammy opens here in the hijack. He's not had a chance to open a pot lately, so... He's going to make it 150. John D with the auto 3-bet to 5. Alright, here we are. We are going to get Sammy and John D. We'll decide. Take a gander at a flop with 8-6 offsuit. Alright, John D. will now bet. Sammy does go for the turn call, and then we go checky on the river, so one of the more bizarre hands here on the night is Chadwick Yates. 6-minute abs. The pip will follow me around everywhere I go. Alan Piscitello says good riddance Tempest. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of experience with it, but it seemed like there was some enthusiasm to continue with Poker Atlas, and I think it's just an app that more people use, and hopefully it should continue to keep us on the map here in the Austin, Texas poker scene. Alright, let's get the 150 raise here by John D. Bart also going to make the call out of the straddle. Does not appear interested in going multi-way here with Jack 8, so... Alright, it is going to come out 10-5-5. John D here with 2 pair, 4s and 5s. Bart bricking here on King High, and we'll just muck, because You'd probably expect him to do here in this spot. Appreciate all you guys hitting subscribe here. We're going to hit that 800 mark here in no time. 792 of your fine, awesome people tagging along. All right, we're going to get your boy Gordon. Gordon's coming on in, and he looks giddy and excited to get in this game. Gordon. However you want to slice it. Your boy, the pride of UVA. Biggest UVA hoops guy. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. I'm going to change up the old thumbnail here. It's a great photo. All right, what do we got here as $100 straddle being put on, it looks like, by John D, Mr. Sailor Girl, according to our chat. Mount here now with a raise up to 275, and all right, here to Bart, not interested. And Sammy's woken up with the fish hooks, the juggalos, the Judies. You're going to make the call. John D also thinking about tagging along with the 8-4 of hearts into this. Says, we'll listen to the angel rather than the devil and mock the 8-4 of hearts. So that would have been fun to see him splash into this. Back here to the East 10 of 7. Here with 2 diamonds. Flush draw for Fred Flintstone. Sammy, who had opted not to go for the pre-flop 3-bet, get to check this board. And there's a winner there for Fred. As Sammy with a jack of diamonds, he could still potentially draw 2, but and he's going to do it. He's going to call the bet at 600. Matt, with no hope in this, will step out the way. All the way here to the end. Bet being put down here by Fred Flintstone at 1.5K. Does Sammy now trying to piece together this is Fred blowing off steam as potentially maybe like 10x hand that he could be just trying to with one single diamond. But I guess with that in mind, then obviously like any queen that rivered, let's just say like if Fred had the just naked queen of diamonds, like his hand's obviously crushed, but obviously any ace beats him, la-di-da, but he can't predict what Fred can do, so he's going to take a chance here, and he will be incorrect. As Yabba Dabba Doo, your boy Freddy, back here from the Stone Age, gonna take a $5,200 pot for all the cheddar. Go get himself some ribs to the side of his car that will tip him over. Is there any of those specialty chefs that make those giant, like, ass ribs? Like, do you have a group rib eating party? I mean, obviously, it's like dinosaurs. That's a tough meat market to try to encounter, but I don't know enough butchers. One guy I knew moved away. So, all right, we're going to have the $25, $50, $100 straddle. Here in Live at the Palms, we are actually going to get Gordon in the mix, which throws off everything. Mr. Granger there does. All right, 25, 50, a hundo as we go here to Bart with some jacks. Fred Flintstone's on the button and he's opting to raise her to 500. So auto 3-bet for sure. I would not expect Bart is going to ever just flat here in this spot, specifically out of the small blind. And that probably will do it, as unless Fred really wants to have some fun, just, and every once in a while you just gotta get 1.2k in with 8-3 offsuit against Bart Hanson. There's the angel, there's the devil. Tilting on the long wisdom of his neighbor Barney. And here we go. Fred Flintstone going to play position here against Bart. He's got 8-3 offsuit. He's going to flop a straight draw. Bart here with the overpair and a gutter ball. Fred Flintstone here with the open ender. And this is such a confusing spot here for Bart, because there's an action player here that could have all sorts of kind of hands, and he will not believe it probably once he sees this. It's going to be a rip by Fred Flintstone. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He has 8-3. That is it. And now Bart being pressured in the most confusing way possible here at this point. Does trying to probably piece together what are some 8x heart, like it could be like ace-3 of heart or ace-8 of hearts, or potentially queen jack. Obviously with 2 jacks in hand, less likely queen jack, and less likely that he has jack 8. So Bart most likely assumes this is some kind of draw, but this is the best potential kind of draw that it could be in, because any 8-9 of hearts could potentially play it this way, but we know Bart's got the best of it, but a massive, if the bet size is correct, he's got Bart covered, and he decided, okay, I'm going with this, whatever the hell you have. And he's just got to dodge a jack or a 6. Oh, it's a 6, and it's a heart. Oh, that's so grimy. On the first board, at least, so we are going to get a second run on. It's another 6! And a 10 on the end. What is this world if there's not chaos? I don't know what I just saw. Oh, Bart, that's just brutal. You got it in with the best hand, a semi-draw. And just an open and a straight draw, essentially. And, Bart's got 2 of his outs. There is nothing sicker I have seen in my time than that. That was, whew, on both boards. Max pain, as our friend DQ would say, does. Well, we promised you action, and we delivered. Unfortunately, the poker gods not too friendly here to our good friend Bart Hanson here of Crush Live Poker, and maybe we can, get Bart in here to talk about just. I'm sure, Bart's a reasonably lit-head professional. He's played big pots before. I know it's not going to take him off kilter, but that is going to be one of those that, what the hell, man? What the hell? I can't believe I just saw that. Graham St. Bart is going to back up that truck if he sees the people are playing that garbage. Kyle says, I want to vomit. Well, you know, I know that was tough. Boy, that's... The feeling of expulsion... Man, you must really love Bart Hanson. Alright, we've got... I think we're going to rebuy it out on there, and... E. McKenzie saying Fred is the GOAT. You know, so often, and that's why, you know, people ask for, like, advice, and, like, poker, and, like, what you're doing, like, broadcasting and announcing. It's just, like, there has to be a situational awareness that you're going to have to expect the unexpected sometimes. I'm just sitting there going back to Fred that, okay, like, a button raises 8-3, like, maybe he's just done with it here at this point. But he takes it a step further and also decides, I'm going to call the 3-bet, and then I'm just going to rip here on flop. That takes some cojones. Alright, Trey here with 8 deuce, feeling like getting spicy. E-man here with a straight draw, but... I think the Jack of Spades turning. Alright, we get a 6 on the end, so 8 high, technically the best. E-man's been kind of quiet as of late, as we see the stacks get deeper and deeper. It is going to be E-man that turns... Actually, yeah, I just wanted to go attack it, and... Mr. P says Fred says hello to all the fans. I mean, that might have... I mean, it's a bad result for Bart, but that... Are you not entertained? Oh, that is... unbelievable. But... Fred rules. I mean, that's... Yeah, so many people come out of these streams, and understandably so. I think when you play a lot, you want to be able to at least have control of your circumstances. I just, you know, love that, and like a guy like Coins is just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just going to do whatever. I think that's hilarious. Alright. Mr. P says running the silver. Well done, Fred. You know, people do step on in here and try to read what the chat pros are saying, so... Crush Live Poker said, hey, I had a good hand. It's like, yeah, you had 8-3. Like, that'll be in the newest chapter, I think. Probably a new series, the value of 8-3. Got position. I mean, you do have to hand it to him that he wasn't just going to call just for the sake of... Like, maybe I'll... But, like... You had a premonition that he was ready to go to war with it regardless of what the flop came out. So that was one of the most interesting and entertaining hands that I hope we get a video on Crush Live Poker on Instagram with a breakdown of this. Get one up there on the YouTube. Alright, we got Trey with Ace-10. Alright, it is up to 550. Fred Flintstone here with the 9 Triz, so... I'm trying to talk to Poker GFX that this hand has more equity in it than you think. Just, that's the power of 9 Triz, man. Alright, he's going to flop bottom pair. 9 Triz continues here for boy Fred Flintstone. New favorite player. Trey is not going to continue here with Ace-10, so... What's going on? Corey Morgan says, hi, Mike. Hello, how are you? Appreciate you guys being here. Does Bart Hanson night here at Palm Social. Shout out to our photographer, Corey DeVillier. Got a nice picture there of Bart. The Caitlin Komeski handles a lot of our social media as well. Check us out, Palm Social 512. All right, 794 more subscribers. My personal goal is 800, but, you know, the sky's the limit right now. So, encourage you to like and subscribe as we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, the occasional Saturdays. We are going to have a ladies' night stream tomorrow night. So, be on the lookout for that. Should have a great lineup for it. And King 4-5 and... Fred's going to take it here with top pair and sitting on the mountain right now, built on 8-3, 19.8K. Ran it twice and hit both of them. And brutal one there for Bart, but that is part of the breaks. I'm trying to play, I mean, it's just, Bart made the right call there for sure. Yeah, Mackenzie says, Fred, the legend Flintstone. Like I said, I mean, that takes some balls to just shove, like, 7K right there in that spot. Going for it, man, and that's tough to do out in these streets. Oops, and spill something here. Okay. We've got Matt with Ace King. We'll be taking this to 3-bet city where the pots are big. And the ladies here are pretty. What's going on, Q? Alright, we got Matt 3-betting to 1.6. Bart now came along with Ace 3 of diamonds, but now we'll step aside. Fred is like a new star. I know he was on the old show a couple of times. Bringing the heat. Sammy now trying to decide if he wants to play against Matt. Heads up in position with King 7 of diamonds. That would be a terrifying prospect to me, us trying to do that. So maybe Sammy has more courage than I do. P saying, Fred is not really an internet guy, but I'm telling him y'all showing him love. Yeah, I kind of expected, you know, first, rename yourself Fred Flintstone. That's not a guy who's probably got the latest edition of Microsoft on his computer. Hasn't downloaded the latest iOS update. Maybe he can. I don't know, but he's the legend in the making. Alright, we got a dealer change now here, live at the Palms. Monday, 5/10/25 edition. I am Mike Youngblood, the dude talking. You might have remembered me. You might have forgot about me, but I'm glad to be here. We're still continuing to build this stream, improving week by week by week, and happy to see where the path will take us. And if tonight is any indication, good lord. Whew. Okay, alright, back to earth here as... I've actually not turned on this Buffalo game all night. I usually have like a tablet open just to kind of keep an eye on it and try to focus on poker for you poker nuts that live, breathe, and really love to think about the game. But I have got to take a live look in here. Let's go. We've got Sammy limping. Gordon putting out the 100 straddle. John D had, okay, made it 375. E-Man's thinking about it with the button and last act. Trey is going to come along here as well, and he's got pocket sixes and garbage all around. Sammy's going to call, so we'll get him some change. Go 4 different directions. And we will get a king, jack 4 with the ace of clubs in hand for John D. So he gets to see about this all damn day, son. E-Man here with second pair. John D gonna bet 750, and if E-Man decides not to continue, I don't think anybody else will either. So just a little pot he got built up in position. Gets to use this time potentially. Alright, John D will pick it up as we continue. Here are another Monday night edition of Live at the Palms, our place we call Palm Social. May not have checked it out here. You may still be wanting to come here for the first time. Say, man, I've always wanted to go to that place. Check us out on Poker Atlas. And hey, if you're a new member and you've not yet played here before, and we will give you a free month and 3 free hours on us. So we're on the Tempest Portal app for the time being. But soon that will be no more. Alright, we've got John D here with pocket fives. Gordon now here with ace queen looking to get on into the mixes. Bet of 600. John E now here with a call of 450. And what do we got here as heads up action? Top pair here, Gordon top kicker. Connected board though with a 9 and the 10. I expect Gordon exercising some pot control. Maybe inviting John D to go wild on this, and that looks like what he might try to do. Alright, bet of 700 is going to get the call by Gordon, hoping for a safe turn card. It's going to come out the 8 of spades. So I think Jack X gets there, so maybe if John D maybe wants to force the issue here, he has the opportunity here with the pot built up to 2.6k that now puts Gordon in kind of a weird spot. But I guess if he opted to play it this way, maybe he has to take it one more straight but I think he may perceive John D to have more Jack X in hand, 9-10, 9-8, but probably not going to like the result of how this one worked out, which is the game sometimes. It is the unfortunate part. Sometimes you just gotta fold and tip your hat to your opponent. So All right, 75 you're watching. I was hoping maybe to get over the 100 viewer mark here at some point tonight. It's good to have goals. It's good to have ambitions. So appreciate all you guys that have been checking us out here from Crush Live Poker or found us either off of Instagram or Twitter. And links in the description if you want to go check those out. As 25 and 50, pretty steady here through the night. Oh, yeah, we also got that baseball game. That was like an 8 start, so I imagine that will go on until like 3 in the morning. That's about how long it takes for some of these games. There's been some really good ones, but you get in the postseason. Oh, it's Boston. Boston's leading 9-3. I'm sorry, Stros fans. I just literally looked this up. I'm sorry to torment you. Okay, we've got E-Man with a raise up to 200. Gordon going to call flat with ace jack of clubs. And what do we go? Heads up. Top pair here for E-Man. Middle pair for Gordon. Backdoor hearts potentially for E-Man as well. So probably say like 250, 300 would be what he opts for sizing wise. Betting a call here by Gordon. Only prove with a jack or an ace. And well, queen will give him a little bit more hope for equity, as 10 will give him a straight as well. Come out here to the 7 of clubs on river, and E-Man now going for just about half-size pot at this point, which any queen 10 combo beats him, ace 10 beats him, obviously. Maybe sometimes you could see jack 10 going for real thin here, but it wouldn't terribly surprise me if Gordon found a call here in this spot, but I think he could probably piece together a hell of a lot more combos that are potentially crushing at this point. There I am, Mike Embla, with you, the dude talking new and improved. Here on 51025, no limit tonight. Hit like and subscribe. Appreciate all y'all who stepped down in here. Again, we've got our free roll tournament happening here on Thursdays. $1,500 going to be added to the prize pool. $20 fee with $20 rebuys. You can do up to 5 rebuys at a time. I believe we're still doing that here on Thursdays at 7 p.m. here at Palm Social. So I know maybe you're looking to try to make a trip down here for some reason. You're like, man, I'd love to. Dude, Thursday free roll here at Palms. All right, we have got 7-3 tangled up with pocket 4s here somehow. We got top and bottom pair on flop for John D. Sammy here with a straight draw. We've got a turn bet and a queen of diamonds here on the end. And John D going for value and try to see if he can poach anything off of Sammy. I don't think it's happening. I do not think it's happening, so... All right, here we go. Does Mitch Hex says table's quiet? I don't know if we just turned down the sound on this. If we didn't turn up the table mics at all. I know we've kind of had them on in the past, so not necessarily trying to keep anybody in silence here as... All right, we've got Fred Flintstone here with the raise up to 300. See, we get the old 3-bet here by Pierre. I haven't seen him mix things up here in a bit. Sammy's also going to come along here with ace queen of diamonds. And, oh, let's go. Fred Flintstone going to get to play this hand in position. And actually, Freddie's going to go 4-bet here to 3.2k. My apologies. Did not notice that little detail was... Maybe that's still going to remain the same. Maybe Fred still comes along with pocket nines. I can't put it past him here at this point. All right, here is we'll decide to give it up. All right, so we will move on to the next hand. It's been straddles galore tonight. Unbelievable action at Palm Social. And we expect that is just going to keep continuing as... All right, what else do we got going on here? Again, moving to Poker Atlas starting this Wednesday. Get yourself on the list then. Alright, here we are. We've got Sammy, Nicole, E-Man, opting to fold out. Okay, he's just going to complete here for the 50. Trey's going to check his option. So we will get a board of a king, queen, 5 with 2 hearts. And flop set for Sammy. And it looks like Sammy's just going to be able to take it. So not much fuss with that. All right, let's keep going here on Palm Social. Mike Youngblood, the dude talking. Shout out again to producer Uncle Sam. Seemingly running things. What's up, Beards all around? Oh, Sunday was here, but Q Williams here on Action Tracker. Got a good, solid team we've put together. Continuing to, hey, welcome your feedback. Appreciate, anything you'd like to share. I think that helps us by all means. not going to really take too much offense to it. It really is stuff that helps us continue to grow our product and our ability to promote Palm Socials. So alright, E-Man is not going to play. Let's see Matt get tangled up in a pot here with 9-7 of clubs, and Fred Flintstone will check his option out of the big blind. A couple of goats colliding here. Not much in the way of anything here for Matt or Fred. Checky. Does turn a straight draw now for Matt. Does 3 is technically best, but I think Fred feels too ambitious of wanting to continue with this. So we stream here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and the occasional Saturday. We're going to have the ladies' night stream tomorrow night. I'm not sure who's hosting that, but we will at least have a game being run. Back on Wednesday for 2-5 Pot Limit Omaha. Now we'll see if we get if the Saturday games are going to be part of the rotation or not. That is a to be determined. Again, free roll Thursday. Yeah, $1,500 being added to the prize pool. So, I mean, that's just literally free money. We're just throwing in $1,500 for you to come play a tournament. Some nice value here as... Alright, Pierre here with a raise with pocket sevens. Fred Flintstone. Again, I had craziest hand of the night with 8-3. Not going to play the 10-5, though, against Pierre. Because I don't know if Lightning's going to strike twice. So we got any change in that? No, okay, so it's the Sox are still up on the Astros. And I think Buffalo leading 23-17, but we got Ryan Tannehill and the, I guess the Tennessee Titans now driving. Oh, okay, Derrick Henry. Now that is a man. Oh, boom, just piled over, I think, Micah Hyde to finish off a run past the 40-yard line into Bills territory. So, got an entertaining game happening there as well. That was a bad man. Alright, we have got a raise up now by John D on the button with ace-9 offsuit. E-Man could opt to 3-bet this spot, which is something we do see from players a lot, especially with these multi-straddle games. Go try to take the lead out of the worst position on the table as... John D going to make the call to 275. And off we go. Top and bottom here for John D. Middle pair for E-Man. The bet splashed down to 600. It's going to go just about 2/3 pot, John D. 2 spades on board. I wouldn't surprise me if he tries to pop this up to like 15 or... Again, we'll just play it slow. Exercise pot control is a big stack that he's up against here. To 7 of diamonds is essentially a brick here at this point. There's not much in the way of improvement for E-Man. It's the only one with a king. It looks like there's only 1 king remaining. But John D may be a little frozen in the potential that maybe E-Man has ace-king. A 3-bet on a small blind is... I mean, I guess you can perceive ace-queen, ace-jack, any spade draws. So his decision on the turn is going to tell us That's not a call made out of, like, I'm 100% sure I have the best hand at this point. And I think this may be the point he gives up, and then maybe John D decides that he wants to go for thin value, but that's going to be a hard... looks like... What do we get here? E-Man is going to fire this. And I don't think any of the backdoor draws hit, so if that's a 7 or an 8... Scanning. Okay, that's a 5 of hearts. I don't know if John D can get away with this, but he probably feels like he's going to be paying off ace-king here. E-Man, like Texas football, all gas, no brakes at this point. Says, like, I've got king-queen, and John D is going to take down a $9,200 pot. E-Man really trying to muscle through, and I mean, I wonder, you know, if his opponent has ace-10, ace-jack, you know, and you go 3 streets of aggression in that route, like, does John D find the call? But I think on that board with ace-9, it just... If you've got ace-king, well, I guess I'm paying it off. But if I'm going to go this far with it, it's tough to get away from, so... Certainly no lack of action here at Palm Social tonight. Or 5, 10, 25, up to 50, to 100, to 100, to 200, some straddles at times. All right, we've got Sammy calling. John D going to step aside. I thought he might play, but E-Man now back on the attack here with a raise up to 200. Or excuse me, 300. Bart and Gordon not too compelled. We might see Sammy come along for 200 more, and we will do this 3 different directions. Jack 9, King 10, 8, 6. Flintstone already went flush over flush earlier tonight. And we've got trip 9s for E-Man, flush draw for both Fred Flintstone and Sammy. E-Man now gets the benefit of betting his hand in position, and going to get called in 2 different spots. $500 called, and Sammy certainly not going anywhere either. Oh no, it's the Queen of Spades! Flush over flush a second time! E-Man has the Jack of Spades, which totally blocks Sammy's ability to go for the straight flush, but irrelevant at this point. Fred Flintstone leads out for 900. Sammy's got a king high flush, and E-Man still has trips. He's wondering also potentially is his Jack of Spades live in a multi-way draw. Probably very unlikely, but the pot being built up to enough he can't get away from this. He's got to find a queen, 3, 9, or Jack here to win it. Otherwise, Sammy's got it. Oh, it's a 10. So Sammy's king high flush still good. If the stacks are correct, he's got 12.8k. Fred Flintstone could exercise some more caution here just because it is a paired board, so there are a ton more hands that he should be afraid of. And such a hairy one here for E-Man, who started off here with the best hand, trip 9s with a Jack turned. Was a flush here for Fred and a flush for Sammy. Sammy with the king high spades, though, now bets 1.7k. So sick, man. For everybody involved. And No, E-Man, says call, call. I'm trying to recall how the action went, and... No, it was Fred Flintstone that I believe led at this on the turn, so... Now once it gets checked to him, it's just sitting there like, I maybe have the best hand, but... Fred again, who went flush over flush earlier with spades. He had 10-9 of spades. I believe E-Man had a king-queen of spades. Is just going to call, and Sammy is going to take down a $10,400 pot here on Live at the Palms. What a game we've got here tonight. Stacks flying everywhere and action nonstop. And a big winner there for Sammy. Kind of a cooler there for E-Man. I just can't believe. Flush hits for both players in the hand, and he does not improve to boat up. And that is sometimes the breaks of the game. Jose in the chat saying, is this in Texas? Yes, this is in Austin, Texas. 9070 Research Boulevard, Suite 105. Crossroads Shopping Center here in the north part of Austin. Sick coolers galore here tonight on Live at the Palms. Our good friend Bart Hanson here in the house to visit. Splash on in the game and victim of a tough hand. And no, I wouldn't say victim. Nobody's really a victim. But boy, that was a tough one. He had jacks versus 8-3 that got it all in on a 10-9-7 board. Fred calling Bart's pre-flop 3-bet with 8-3 offsuit and then just ripping on that. And Bart kind of sussing it out. And he's going to enjoy himself a nice, cool tasting, always filling Miller Lite. 69 likes. Nice. We're going places, folks. Okay, ace-queen here for John D. Fred Flintstone with 7-3 of hearts. Ooh, this is, okay. Trey here with middle pair. The king-high diamonds. John D. will bet his top two. Trey's not going anywhere. Man who has been known to not fold flush draws, especially nut draws. Mr. P in the chat saying don't move here. We're full. Yeah, I read that. We are at maximum occupancy. We're running out of houses. All right, so John D continues here with top pair. Continues now to 15 and... Just about a pot-sized bet if I recall correctly. Trey deciding, does he feel lucky right now? Well, do you, punk? All right, so Trey still with the decision. Going to call for 1.5K. And we'll bring us here to the river. Okay, 7 of diamonds. Trey has hit the card that he was looking for. And now John D's stomach just twisting a little bit. What bets can he call off here when he checks a Trey? Trey sitting with like 6.4K, so yeah, and I think he's pushing most of it in, or just all the pink 500 chips. At least up to 3.5 or 4.5K, so he bets a pot. John D's going to lay it down. Solid lay down as Trey hits it on the end. It takes down a... Now after that, a 9.6K pot with that river bet of 4.5 as... All right, we carry on here to the night 5, 10, 25. That has only been a starting point. We've seen the 50, we've seen the hundo, we've seen the 200. And it looks like your boy Josh Allen is on the... This has actually been an entertaining Titans-Bills game right now. And just the third quarter watching. So this is going to be a ton of points for people that are hammering the over. I know I saw some bet that some guy put like $1,000 on some ridiculous 13-team parlay that was for, I think, the money line on the Bills and the Bills minus like 6, I think, to win it all. Or something like that. So just some ridiculous. You're like, who the hell puts like $1,000 on it's just some random ass 13-team teamer? I admire that level of degen, though. That's awesome. Not rooting against the guy, but it's just like, god damn. I'm gonna try to look this up because I saw it on Twitter. Okay, it needs this second parlay needs the Bills to... There's another parlay for like $195,000 prize if Bills go minus 5.5. I wonder if I would like hedge their bets. I've heard of some people that maybe... Okay, we're going to go out here to the King Jack 3 board here with a couple of ladies. There's... Now about a 700. All right, 3 ball on the on the turn. Then okay, could have come out the 9 of diamonds on the end. Pure here with queens. Now here the 3.5K pod. We'll check it back and hope for the best news possible, which is, yeah, his hand's still pretty good. Jake Goldrich giving us some great feedback. Just saying, like, the stream is awesome. Really makes me hate Hustler, Live at the Bike, etc. Man, that's a spirited discussion to come on in here. Hot take. I mean, that guy probably smashed the like button at least like 10 times here. Alright, let's see if we can hit the 100 like mark as we continue to learn, grow, and improve on what we're doing here. We know we're not a finished product. We know you got a lot of choices out there for places to play, people to visit, things to see. But we appreciate you expressing your love. And we hope to keep continuing moving forward. And the action keeps pressing on here with the 25.50 a hundo running here tonight. All right, we've got Trey on the open here to 300. Fred Flintstone going to call for 300 also. John D most likely in the mix here with pocket eights. Let's go. All right, middle pair here for Fred Flintstone, which is like the best of this on this 3-heart board. And I think this might work. I mean, John D might float him or continue here with the 8 of hearts, but does not appear too interested in doing so. Fred Flintstone continues to flex on the haters. Says, take that, haters. I don't even know if Fred knows what a hater is, but I bet he would figure it out. Because Fred is a legend. Yeah, my name is Mike Youngblood, formerly of TCH Live. Here at Live at the Palms. Have been streaming now for a couple of months. I think we're about, what are we, like 2 months into this? Just about or so. And again, streaming on Mondays, Wednesdays, the occasional Saturday. We've got Ladies' Night tomorrow night. Here if you want to partake in that. Their first edition was fantastic. Some really talented players that fucking went to war out there, man. That was some really good streaming poker. Alright, we got Trey on the open here with 10-9 of diamonds. E-Man going to call out of his straddle for fun. It is going to come out perfectly here for Trey. Top pair, flush draw. Is not going to be about 300 here by Trey. Was E-Man with a gut shot. Some backdoor diamonds if that goes that direction. Ace peels is. Wonder if Trey will check this back or. Now a bet here to 1400. Oh my god, we've got 29-24 here, so that guy's sweating that massive bet here. Has a chance to be back in the driver's seat right now with that touchdown from Josh Allen. Who caught that in the back of the end zone there? That was Sweeney. Okay. We have our free roll on Thursdays, adding $1,500 to the prize pool. Again, here at Palm Social in Austin, Texas. Very great value here. We're just putting it in there. It's not a guarantee. We had our boy Jordy Rob trying to do both in the cash game and the tournament. It was a very entertaining there. I was dealing part of it, so even if you want to come harass me and say, hey, you suck, dude, talking, you can do that, and I'll just probably smile at you. All right, what do we got here? We got 844. Trey has flopped a boat. John D. was the only one with any chance in this any further. Now going to pair up Gordon, who gets to be last act. So let's see if he feels like continuing. Not a whole lot going on for Gordon in this mix, and E-Man also with top pairs, so everybody's got a reason to maybe hop along, but John D now with a king turn, probably going to see him vanish. And E-Man could meet the same fate, but I understand there's some 7-6, 7-5 club draws. Could be potentially chopping with any other random 8x combo here too as well, but we know Trey's got the best of it here with 2.7k pot building, and see what sizing he chooses here on the river. If he can squeeze anything out of Gordon or E-Man, or both maybe candidates to maybe try to call off on any river bet here, but like 2.2 seems Gordon could potentially piece together some potential busted club draws, combo draws that Trey could have, but can't ever count out a man on a heater right now, and Trey is heating up. Alright, so Gordon could perceive there to be better King X's out there, maybe Ace 4. 8-4 is probably a more surprising combo, but alright, so that is going to be the winner there for Trey. And we will carry on here live at the Palms Monday night edition. I guess 510 becoming more of the regular thing here, so make sure to hit subscribe. Smash that like button for us. See if we can get over 800 total subscribers here by the end of the night. And we appreciate all your Crush Live Poker fans. Maybe you're anti-sweating Bart. Maybe you're sweating Bart. Maybe you're rooting for Bart. Maybe you hate listening to me. That's only a fraction of our audience, and kind of a key demographic. Got to have a little polarization. Alright, Pierre here with the two chicks at the same time. The raise up to $500 off the $200 straddle. Fred Flintstone can defend with Jack 6. So this is how legends are made. Really solid, sturdy Pierre is going to come out Ace 6 9. So there's going to be blood in the water. Pierre probably going to exercise pot control. Checking back is King turns, which does give Pierre the nut flush draw at this point. Not going to build this pot up any further. We'll realize it to the end. Oh, it's trip sixes. Fred Flintstone with the old Jack 6 getting allowed to carry on into the river, and it's a $600 bet being put out. And I think Pierre will slap himself or anything after that. It's perfectly reasonable for him, I think, to check two streets, knowing that any bet by any ace calls or any king x calls, and now the curiosity tax will be paid off to the man that we know as Fred Flintstone. Again, if you like Pot Limit Omaha action, we stream PLO on Wednesdays. Trying to get Alan Piscatella to come on in here and join for commentary. Get our PLO wizards in effect. So we continue on with the two-card game. We did have one PLO bomb pot that kind of just, boom, kind of a bomber. It was very quick. All right, what do we got here? Matt calling, and Fred Flintstone, the $100 straddle, will check his option with Queen 6. So rags to a straight draw for Matt. The artist formerly known as Westgate. Now the 5 of diamonds turns here for Fred, and a 6 comes on home. Matt here with the straight. It looked like they agreed to check it down, and Matt here with the 10 high straight in a very small pot. We'll keep on keeping on here and keep hitting like, keep hitting subscribe. All right, we've got Gordon on the raise up and John D on the button with Jacks, Judy's, JJ Reddicks. Going to put in a 3-bet, and maybe that is going to put a dent in the action here at this point. Fred Flintstone, I guess, okay, he can call King Queen of Hearts, or he has the capability of being enticed to tag along. Gordon now is actually going to play his position. Actually, that is the incorrect assumption. It's just like, John D can have nothing here, so why don't I just gamble? All right, he is going to brick on this king high board, but what does John D do? He's going to bet. All right, we'll move it on to the next stand. It's here from Bart Hanson of Crush Live Poker. Enjoying the experience here. Is a lot of fun being had here on our live stream game. 5, 10, 25, 50 to 100. Where the action is starting to wind down for the night, though. All right, Trey here with Ace King has been heating up here in the last few hours. Going to raise up here to 400. That will probably do it. Doesn't look like we'll do anything post. So, all right, I'm going to step away for just one moment. Stay here with us here live at the Palms. Alright, back here as times you had to take just a little 1 minute break here to step on out. As 2G, how's Bart the Knit doing? He took a kind of a beat. Other than that, I think relatively solidly at this point. Got Ace King against sixes and a multi-way pod. He flopped an ace, but the sixes hit a set on the flop, and his hand didn't improve. Jorge Orozco, Santa Ana, California. People in Texas just love when people bring up California all the time. I'm finding out it's one of the favorite things. Giving a lots of encouraging words like "Don't move here." Keep politics over there in California. That's always like my favorite thing out of it is just blank assumptions. All right, Bart here, gonna 3-bet to 1.6K. Is gonna go back around to E-Man with Jack 8 of spades and open this to 400 of the hijack. Bart re-raising out of the big line. We'll see maybe V-Man wants to gamble in position. He's got the 8 of spades in hand, which prettiest card in the deck. TJ saying hustler unmatched. Well, it's not a cult. You can choose to watch different things. Like, I'm not here to get into some dick waving match. We are working to improve and continue to do things that will put ourselves out there in the best light as possible. You only learn by doing. So we'll be back here for Ladies' Night tomorrow night. Here on Live at the Palms. Also 2-5 Putnam in Omaha as well. So all right, we've got Fred Flintstone in the mix with 8-7 of spades. Is going to flop a flush draw. Middle pair for Sammy. See if Freddie bets this. Is going to get the call by Sammy. Then we will go heads up. All right, what do we got? The 9 of hearts on end. Sammy's pair holds up, and that's about all she wrote. That's all she wrote for that one. Those. Corey Morgan says, I like ladies. I also like PLO. Well, then you're subscribing to the right channel, my friend. We got a Monday high stakes, and I know people are like 5-10, but just get the 25 out there. We got all the straddles that have been just pretty much a part of the night. Those. All right, Bart here with the Queen 8 of spades. Let's see what Gordon decides to do is going to make the call here for 295. Sammy also in the mix is going to bring E-Man, I think, also along. So look at this, Bart flopping straight and a flush draw Top pair queen kicker here for Gordon. Bart's going to take the lead here for, let's see, with 4 different players, bet to 500. All right, now on to the 4 of diamonds. Bart's hand does not improve, but the draw remains the same. Gordon with the big equity advantage, and so Bart actually had gotten checked to and betted on the button, and now probably decides to realize his equity. See what we can get on the river is a 5 of clubs, so Bart not running particularly too swell tonight. Gordon's going to come out here for a value bet to nobody is. Bart probably can't even wait to be able to muck this one here. And we'll give it up. All right, as we continue here live at the Palms at Palm Social in Austin, Texas. Check out the links in our description. Hit subscribe or try to get over 800 subscribers tonight. We are camping out at the 798 mark. Eric St. John, PLO for girls at one time. Well, that is a sentence that makes sense. PLO for girls. Okay, that, you know, if punctuation was in there, that could make some sense. It says 4 girls at one time. Yeah, I guess if you had 4 queens in your hand, that would be 4 ladies at one time. I don't know if I had that 2 chicks at the same time thing saved here on my soundboard just yet. I haven't quite incorporated just everything. But we're going to get to work on that. Dexarian, how's Bart doing? Not great, Bob. Got in with Ace King at 6s. Relatively small pot compared to the monster that... Okay, we've got Fred Flintstone with jacks. Sammy here with a couple of ladies. Bart right in between. He's got 1 out of each of these players. So Fred, who had previously gotten in against Bart with 8-3 on a 10-9-7 board for a pretty big pot, I believe, 14,000. I think of the unsuited variety, Bart does have position here, so he has seen all this action on the table and doesn't realize he's actually up against 2 monsters compared to what he has. So Bart looking for some run good. Oh, wow, we got action. Queen, Jack. Gonna flop it open under. We've got overpairs for Fred Flintstone and Sammy. Sammy also with a queen high. Heart backdoor draw. This could be some trouble depending on who is going to be the player to build up this pot. So, wow, Sammy's not going to be one. Well, Bart somehow get a free card out of this. I don't think Fred is going to knuckle this, though, when check two. The bet of 1.5K, Bart assuredly going to call is... Now Sammy kind of put in an awkward position here as, he's now going to opt for the check raise to 5K. Raise now here to 5,000. Fred Flintstone here with the overpair. And I don't know how he thinks about poker. I can only gauge from what we have seen tonight. And now Fred here trying to decide what to do. 3.5K. More to call. Has the overpair here on this 10 high board. try to get a little water in them. That always helps your decision making. Sammy demonstrating a lot of strength. That's a massive size, and with this pot out of position on flop. It generally looks more like a set of nines or something. I would be very surprised if it was something like a Sammy would make this kind of move with, say, like ace-10 with the ace of hearts. Is probably the bottom of range that I think of hands that he would have. The experience is shocked at how little equity Fred has. Again, with Bart having the other jack and Sam and no heart in hand. Now Bart here with a decision with a pot that's been beefed up, and he gets to play this in position. So 3.5K to call. Trying to piece this together here. Is this worth it? Right now the pot has been built up to just under 12K. So roughly like 4-1 to call, and so we have got ourselves a pot here. $15,300. Sammy here with the overpair. Bart seeking a king or an 8. Is not going to get either one of those. It is going to be the prickiest deuce of clubs. Now, Sammy applying the brakes, which is sure confusing with Bart's end as to, okay, maybe like nines full would not just necessarily barrel into this. So I have a feeling Bart feels like he may just be done with this. Hey, it's going to be an 8 though. Bart makes a straight. Sammy, after check raising flop, checks turn. Bart smashes home the 8 of spades on the end of what is a 15.3K pot, and if the stacks is correct of 8.7, I just expect to just rip all of that right in. But this is, yeah. I don't think there's a bet smaller. I mean, Bart gets a little redemption if there's some hands that have not gone his direction. Is going to push it all in. Sammy suspicious. And because he's not gotten snapped, I think Bart 100% knows he has the best hand. It's still not run out of the realm of possibility. Bart could have felt like, okay, maybe I'm getting trapped here by our count here at $24,000 pop. Will Sammy make the call? We'll count it all out here on the end as yeah, that expression says it all. F. Fuck. Sammy's gonna probably regret having check turn, but I mean the pot had built up to so much there that it's such an awkward spot for him to be on, even if the board pair says he could be afraid of the same kind of set that Bart would have. That flipping it face up, but it's just the first sign of folding. Still on to Sammy here as I think Queen Jack is reasonably in range, but there's just not a ton of bluff candidates that beat unless Bart decided to like pound the river with 10-9 or 10-8, which just doesn't. I don't know if that would jive into Sammy's line of thinking that Bart would go that kind of path pre-flop and on-flop. So I guess the only other hands would be just busted heart draws, which, could contain 9x of hearts or any of those numbers. So that's the most optimal scenario from Sammy's perspective, the kind of hands Bart could be betting worse than. And a big win there for Bart, one of the bigger pots of the night, as we'll reclaim a little what had gone astray in some tough hands earlier in the night. As we'll continue on here on our live stream, Monday night, 5/10/25, being showered with praise, as we're at the 799th subscriber. Robert Hover, you have a beautiful voice for commentary. Wow. I am your number one fan. What an okay. We got Ken L's Ferrari here in the house. Dexterience is good to lay down. Terrible turn. Yeah, the pot has been grown so massive there that Bart getting to play his position kind of, I think, caused Sammy to really just freeze as to just like, what the hell do you do with 2 queens in this spot? And I've been curious, say, like, maybe Sammy just calls for the exercise of pot control, or maybe say he c-bets and probably gets called in 2 spots, and then he gets the bricky deuce, so it's... Again, hit subscribe. Appreciate all the love and support, some of the new subscribers. I think it's like almost 50 to 60 new subscribers just popping on in today. We'll have some more highlight reels of some of our other cash games, so you can check that out here on the channel as well. So the $200 strat on that, Fred Flintstone will check his option with the 7 deuce. Is going to come out 5-3-5 is... $10 here on the turn peels off now for Sammy. 10s and 5s with a 6, and nobody with really any reason to want to partake in this hand unless to go crazy, and even Fred has his limits. Alright, let's carry on into the night. We know you got a lot of choices. Know there's a ton of stuff out there to watch. But Tanya, we are going places. Trying to be one of the best in the city. It's a high standards, a tough. I mean, it's there's just some competitive streets out there. People doing a great job. And oh wow, the Titans pull ahead 34-31. So heck of a game we got going on here. All right, what do we got? We got Pierre here with the raise up to 250. Matt also going to call with ace queen. He maybe could opt for 3-bet in this spot too, and that's what he's going to do. So this could just completely wipe out the field unless somebody in position decides. Sammy maybe. No, he's not too interested in 10-9. So we'll give it on up as Eric St. John, where is the table talk? Normally we have the mics up a little bit more, but I think we had them just completely down tonight. So we'll see if we can do that in the future, certainly. Usually we've had the noise, the chip clatter, and all that good stuff, but All right, Crush Live Poker, there will be a seat open soon. Come on down. Yeah, okay, all right, yes. Again, there probably will be an open seat here soon, so if you want to keep playing this game, you got a chance to pop onto the mix. Yeah, we operate on a 30-minute delay, so we will... That's all right. We've got Bart and I think maybe a limped and. Oh, Bart put out the straddle. I'm sorry. Bart put out the $100 straddle. Mr. P is saying, "What do you want us to talk about?" That's a good question. What do people want to hear when they are players stoically playing a poker game? Matt now with a chance to maybe go to 4-bet town as John D opened on the button, Trey 3-betting, and now Matt could he go for a 4-bet here with Jacks? Yep, he's going to pop it up here to 2.1K. Bart not going to play the 8-3. He'll give it a little look over like, I have your hand, bro. I appreciate the feedback, Eric St. John. That is obviously the model that we do want to follow at some point. It is, you know, tackling one thing at a time. Heroes. I would love those things too. They require probably another sound producer. Some maybe more detailed work, but we're going to try to find a way here in the future. Okay, Day's going to come out King 10-9, all hearts trade. The pre-flop 3-better, then Matt, the pre-flop 4-better. Trey opting to call out of position. Either play with a heart in hand, and we'll see who has a bigger heart in their chest to go and rampage at this. Oh, I agree, Eric. I would do this way differently if we were mic'd up on the table. I 100% agree. I'm not trying to diss your opinion. I read you loud and clear, but all right, 5, 10, 25 continues. All right, let's do this. Next hand. So we have Pierre opening to 250 off the $100 triple straddle. Sammy opting to go for the 3-bet now to 875. Goodness gracious. Fred Flintstone now just going to flat in between with Ace King. Bart has got Queen Jack, and he's going to give it up. So we will go back to Pierre. Maybe feels like, okay, if Fred is going to get splashy here and Sammy is going to go a little wild, maybe I got a chance to hit something. Alright, here we go. We are going three ways. Sammy's the only one who flops on this. Bottom pair. See, does Fred Flintstone want to float on this? That does not appear to be the case. And I imagine Pierre is going to be done with it as well. Not French Pierre. Going to give it on up. Okay, so. I appreciate it, Eric. I'm not, like I said, we rely on our audience to give a best view as to what they like, don't like, what they want to see this become, and it's something to duly note and something to think about as well. So, all love here, bro. Thanks for subscribing. Did we get over the 800 sub mark here tonight? I think we are getting closer to it. 799, 802. Boom. Hell freaking yes, son. Some nice growth for us here as Josh Allen like a bandit trying to run to the end zone here in the final like 30 seconds. Don't spoil it here for me. If I'm a little behind. Okay, King Jack of clubs going to open now for Fred Flintstone. All right, is going to be middle pair for Pierre and top pair with a straight draw for Fred Flintstone. All right, four ball is not going to change up much of anything, but there's still a very deep game happening here. Fred's betting again. Pierre maybe thinking about it. Nope. Another silent fold is. Oh, I gotta turn the fan on. Our studio is just getting a little toasty back here. Nice night for us. Can join us for ladies' night on tomorrow night. I will not be doing commentary here for that. I've got my other gig to go to, but been assured we will have somebody here to fill in. Trade out here with the Ace 10 of diamonds of the cutoff E-man, though. We'll get to enter the pot first with 7-6. Alright, so we got E-man on the raise, Trey on the call, and then Fred Flintstone picks up kings. The 3-bet to 1.7. Trey's got position. E-man's got position on the initial raiser, but we'll be stuck in between. Trey probably living the best life ever now that Bitcoin is exploding again. Does he want a tango? Trey is actually not going to play that. He actually maybe he did believe that Fred actually had a legitimate hand this time, so... Oh, wow, the Buffalo Bills are not going to win. So this... I've read about 2 different, like... massive bets put on these huge parlays. One of them relied on the Bills money line. The other one was like Bills minus 5.5. The very last leg for somebody who bet like 1,000 to win like 150, and there was another that's for like 195. So, not that I'm rooting for a sports book to win or anything. I just was... That's a hell of a sweat. All right, next 10 here live at the Palms. We stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. We're going to have a ladies' night tomorrow night. Welcome you to check that out. Be nice to whoever the commentator is. So we'll have somebody here for it. I think we got another table going on here in the room currently. Not if that's a 1-3 game or 2-5 game, but we will be on Poker Atlas starting Wednesday. Check us out there. Excited to have that be a new wrinkle here at Palms, and Bart now here with the open to 275. Pierre with a couple of ladies says... E-Man. Now I'm going to play this Queen 10 of Spades, and Bart had hoping to be able to play a suboptimal one in position. It's not going to be the third one to this party, so let's go. Oh, he would have flopped a wheel. So sick. All right, overpair here for Pierre. Not much going for E-Man except backdoor spades. All right, here we go. We've got bet of 1.5, a call of 1.5. Even I'm going to try to play a position. 4 ball comes to the turn. Pierre going to be able to take it down as E-Man will not get an opportunity to try to bluff at it, and I don't think he ever was, but can imagine some moments where totally bricks on that board and can get checked to, and that situation is not tonight, so big win for those Tennessee Titans. That was certainly an odd ball game. I didn't get to catch much of it. It looks like Boston trying to break the hearts of all of our Astros fans around. I don't really have much of an opinion on the Astros. I've just not... When the whole cheating thing came out, that it's just like now everybody wants to hold on to that forever. And like eventually I just move on. But, you know, I understand people still get kind of pissy about it. So we've got a, wow, $25, $50, $100, $200, $400 straddle. Bart has got rags. Gordon has got sixes. Is Gordon going to push? Gordon's here, going to go. I mean, he essentially has what? Just less than like 15 big blinds. It's not probably the most comfortable portion to try to go for it. Now, see, E-Man has got ace-9. John D is going to open to 1,100. Fred Flintstone with aces in the $400 straddle. Will we see blood? Now does how Fred want to spin this. A re-raise back. Gordon probably going to be very thankful he did not enter the pot with pocket sixes. He would have stepped right into a monster. Fred is going to put in a pretty healthy size re-raise. At least to, what do we got? 5.9K. What do you do when you have ace queen and somebody has a $400 quintuple straddle re-raises you here with ace queen? Unbelievable hand that we've got going on here as John D calls to be less than 10K out of position. A straddle that reached all the way around to the hijack, and Fred Flintstone being rewarded for his gamble from the poker gods, saying, here's some aces out of the $400 straddle. Whew, yeah, but Eric St. Johnson probably way too big. Yeah, Westlake was like, you had aces? Can't probably see behind the mask, but the eye said it all. Yeah, we had a famous... Okay, well, let's... I mean, this is your time to shine if you're a chat pro here. This is... We love our chat pros. They're the heart and soul of our show. All right, do we have anybody with hands here? We got the $200 straddle out there. Just a nonchalant $200 straddle being put out. Those. Here we go. Those. All right, 9-4-3, middle pair for Fred Flintstone, top pair for E-Man. Matt with the least of it, but the betting lead at this point. So, again, keep hitting that like button for us. We can get over 100 here on the night. I'd be very happy. Camper. Call of 420. All right, what do we got here? Trip 4's here for Fred Flintstone. Maybe E-Man. Could potentially look him up here in this spot, but not 100%. Not a believer just yet. Gonna make the call for 900 and Matt. Now it does turn a spade flush draw. Gets an inviting price to come along. We'll do so. And it is the ace of clubs on the river, so the trip 4s of Fred Flintstone. Going to be good enough to win it. Maybe the ace on river basically kills any of the action. I guess E-Man could maybe call for a chop if he feels like he's betting any 9x. And that it would be a chop, 9s and 4s with an ace. But I think this size is going to be too much for E-Man to continue. So probably should go full, but we'll see if that's the case. Yep, we are going to get full fold. So we shall keep on keeping on. It has been an action-packed night. $400 straddles, $200 straddles. Huge-ass pots. I don't know, maybe that should be our tagline. Huge-ass pots here on Palm Social. All right, let's carry on here. Kings for Bart now. Wow. Sitting here with about 23,500 and Sammy tapping into his revenge range with the 10-4 of spades. He lost a hand. It was a massive pot that he tried to check raise. Bart off of Queen Jack on a 10-9 export. Sammy had queens. So maybe Sammy just sitting there saying like, okay, I see you, Bart Hanson. Okay, we will go 3 different directions. Fred Flintstone calling out of his 100 straddle. Is going to go King 5-4, top set. Bottom pair for Sammy. And only hope there's some backdoors here for Fred Flintstone. And Sammy's going to beat him into the pot. Drawing to literally less than a 1% to running 4s is the only way Sammy can win this hand. 3-ball here on the turn. Does not approve anything for Sammy. Bart's got a lock on this. Could fear some ace deuces and 7-6s, but that's a bridge you get to. You cross when you get to it. I expect a turn bet here by Bart. Bart now here with a bet of 800. Sammy could feel like he's beating any ace-x of hearts that is unpaired. Is not a believer just yet. Is going to be a 6 of spades, so one-liner to a straight could maybe cause some caution for Bart. See if Sammy bask in the opportunity to bluff at this. I doubt Bart is folding much of anything. We'll go to showdown, hoping. Yep. Set of kings going to be way good here in this spot. Those. Appreciate all y'all tuning in here. You can hit us up in the chat, leave us a comment in the archive. I know there are things we would love to do better and standards we like to reach. I love you all the same. Engagement is engagement. Invite you to come out here and play this. Again, we do have a new member promotion. You get your first month free on us with 3 hours of free play. We've got a free roll coming up on Thursday, the 1,500 added to the prize pool. I take advantage of that. That is just some free money being added to a free roll prize pool. All right, we have got Fred Flintstone picking up ace king. He's going to raise it up big time, up to 750. Bart has no interest in calling 650 more. Maybe Sammy might suspect some blood and water, but even that, all right, here we go. Sammy's going to make the call. E-Man is going to continue here as well. All right, we're going to come out. Oh, all spades. Fred Flintstone with top pair with the ace of spades. E-Man here with king with a queen kicker with a gutter ball. Sammy here with that same straight draw as well, but not much hope of being able to take it outright. Fred Flintstone with about a 1,400. All right, Sammy now here with a decision. Comment deleted back end. Called that Bills game, yo. Too much money pounded on that, huh? Good friend, Yonks. What's going on, man? Sammy's going to get sticky here. We'll make the call to 1.4. Fred and about to as perfect a situation for his hand as possible. Only really has to worry about an offsuit jack. E-Man. Oh, no. He's deciding to rip it. He's got almost no hope. He would need to hit a jack or a queen that is not a spade. And he was hoping Fred was making a move, I guess. So we'll count it out here. I imagine Fred with the ace of spades is not going anywhere. Unless E-Man has more chips, and this is a bigger raise size than expected, I mean, even then I don't expect it, but that's the only other variable that would change anything. So going to be roughly about 2.4. Fred could just elect to move over the top, but he could be fearing Sammy also trapping a particular hand. Is comment saying it's almost like I've spent way too long around sports betting. You and me both, brother. Our mutual friend. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. E-Man getting snapped off is going to have to get lucky. Red Jack, Red Queen. Red Jack, Red Queen. Is not going to get it here on this first board. Fred Flintstone with a hammer lock on it, but still susceptible. Not going to get it on the second. Turn is not going to get on the last river either. Fred Flintstone with a huge hand here is going to take an $11,500 pot and will dodge any of his opponent's equity on the 2 runouts. So, what a night. What a night on this live stream. Sasha Ann, thanks for the stream and commentary. Very insightful for someone new. Yeah, you get to see situations play out here in cash games. You really want to understand what happens when you get onto these 5, 10, 25 streets. I mean, we do some 2-5 PLO. We've had some 1-3 no limit, but yeah, if you're brand new and you're trying to size up all of these things, trying to explain it to you in a way, hopefully, the people who are really experts at the game can understand fully, and people that are brand new can at least kind of learn it bit by bit. So Eric St. John, why shove King Queen off? Yeah, I'm sure E-Man is going to ask himself that at some times. I guess this is just like Fred Flintstone has played kind of so wild tonight that you're just like, oh, he doesn't have a hand here, and then he is proven terribly wrong. Pierre going to open up here to 250. Yeah, I see people call Bart like a nit in the chat, and I don't think there's been one moment where he hasn't hesitated to put a big straddle out here tonight. So I don't always know if that's fair. I know it's just once you get into the limelight, people have more room to try to criticize. So I don't know. I'm not a nit shamer. We do not. I mean, maybe you can now survive on nit shaming other people. I'm not really a nit shamer. I'll let somebody who's more action than me go ahead and do that. All right, what do we have here? We've got it folded around to the $100 straddle out there. See if Mr. Gordon, he will put in the raise up to 400. Pierre with ace-5 suited is going to defend with position on Gordon, and we've got ourselves a little pot going here. Say that in Eugene, Oregon all the time. We got ourselves a little pot going here, man. All right, Gordon here is going to flop Broadway. Pierre with only hope of chopping or backdoor diamonds. Gordon here with a bet, and Pierre. Gordon a little disappointed he gets no action there, but such is life. Sasha M, when you do a straddle, do you have to announce it or can you just put it in? Yeah, I mean, you can just put it in as long as before the cards are in the air being dealt to the players. Some rooms give you a little more discretion, like if you announce it, that's certainly binding, and All right, we have got, looks like E-Man with the Queen 4 of clubs. He's rebought back into this game. Trey gets to raise it up now here to 400 with a Jack 10 of clubs. Got Fred Flintstone calling with the 4-3 suited. Sammy's also going to tag along, and E-Man maybe stuck a little bit, saying let's gamble. Comment deleted. Do you guys have a button straddle? We do not. Typically not seen too often around the Austin scene. I think when you do see it, it tends to be more in Houston. I don't know what Dallas does. Gut shot and backdoor clubs here for Trey. Not much going for anybody else in this. Boom. That is going to hit a 10. So top pair for Sammy and Trey. And that is where the rubber meets the road. It's only those two gents. Bad and a call. Let's see. Trey does have a pair with a straight draw to an 8. It's going to be an ace on the river by Barry Greenstein. Sammy going to win it here at Showdown. Trey trying to drive the action a little bit. And Queen 10 going to be good here for your boy Sammy. So I think we got like 10 more minutes left here in the show. Yeah, and hit the like, hit subscribe. Very nice push from the Crush Live Poker folks. Maybe people who found the channel just randomly. Glad, however, you did to continue on with this. We will keep on going into the night at Palm Social. Trey gets to open here in the hijack, which now Bart picking up a couple of ladies. Is going to most likely 3-bet here, and we will see if we actually do get to go to a flop. As Pierce picked up Ace Queen. He's like, oh, how much do you have, Bart? I'm like, oh shit, you actually have a lot. So around equal in chips if the stacks are correct. Fairly deep. Pierre can recognize that Bart's 3-bet out of the small blind. Doesn't always have to be premiums, but I wonder what the solvers would say, but they can't say anything. Does Pierre go even one step further? He's going to re-raise out of the first straddle, but looks like it's going to be at least 3 something. 37? 3.4. Okay, 3.4 is what he's going to 3-bet back here to Bart. We could have ourselves a huge pot here. Don't expect Bart's folding. Just a matter of, would he go to 5 at this point? And we're going to go heads up here. Before we even see a flop, we've got 7.2K in the middle here on the Felt of Dreams, Palm Social, Austin, Texas. This is Live at the Palms. Let's go heads up, Biz. Oh, we got a flush draw here for Pierre. Overpair for Bart. Practically a coin flip at this point. Pierre, the pre-flop 4-better. Could expect Bart could have anything from 9s, 10s, jacks. Maybe potentially ace, king. He's going to go down here to 2.3K. Bart certainly not going anywhere. It's just about a fourth, just under a 4-size pot. So 2.3, Bart. Now I'm going to make the call as this pot swells up to 11,800. Try to fade an ace or a diamond. But could be fearing aces or kings as well. The 8 pairs up on the end. Excuse me, on the turn card. Bart checking. Let's see if Pierre decides to check behind or continue blasting. Knows if he checks here, it's going to be awfully tougher to probably bluff river. So, but does he feel like he can get Bart out of it if he bets? And that becomes the $11,800 question here for Pierre, as this does not look like a man is interested in checking here. $3.7 now for Pierre. Now, if you're Bart Hanson, do you fear kings? Do you fear aces? There's a potential. Maybe jacks full could be there, but Bart's been at this a long time. He's seen these situations enough to know that. But could this big pot get even bigger here, boys and girls? Holy moly, we have got a big one developing. Now to $19,200. Bart trying to fade an ace or a diamond on the end. And it is going to be a 10. Bart fades the draw. Pierre is probably going to have to push to maybe even make Bart think about folding here. And he may have to do so. $19,200 pot here as Pierre gets checked out. The 4-better pre-flop. On flop 2.2. And we'll knuckle it back in hopes of ace high being good. And that is a winner for Bart Hanson of Crush Live Poker. And that may just be how this game ends here tonight. As I see our good friend Floor Jeremy in the background with another box to be put in. So that will most likely wrap up our night here. Our cash game session, 5, 10, 25, and more. And it ends with just about a $20,000 pot being pushed here to Bart Hanson of Crush Live Poker. Thank you very, very much here for everybody who commented, liked. Hit the like on the way out. Hit subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow night for Ladies' Night. PLO on Wednesday. And more ahead in the future. So thank you so much for tuning in. Producer Sonny, Action Tracker Q, Uncle Sam, executive producer. I'm Mike Gimblett saying so long, everybody. And come on out and play poker at Palm Social. Good night, y'all.